Hello, Johnny London here maybe not, once again. And it's a very bright sunny day today, which is great, isn't it? So what I'm going to do, I pretty much found all the bits of wood I need to make the doors yesterday. Finding some long pieces for the sort of vertical bits was really the key, and I found just about enough of those. I've laid everything out, so all we're going to do is just get cracking and assemble it all. And that means it's time for my trusty chop saw. I've got them all done in one hit to create the outer edges of both doors. Well, I've got my frames pretty much laid out how I want them now. I'd always intended to have a couple of sort of horizontals across like that, and originally these bits of wood were just going to be horizontal infills as well, but actually that's not really going to give it sort of much distinction. It will just look like I've used odd bits. So I've taken inspiration from the front cabin doors, and they've got the lower parts panelled vertically, so I'm going to do mine like that, and these just about fit, so that's going to be okay. Might need an extra sort of central strip or something, but I can, you know, come to that later. Obviously the front cabin doors, only the bottom bit's panelled and the next bit's upper glazed, but these I'll just do them probably the same as that all the way up, and this panel's a bit bigger. I've done it sort of proportionally, just a little touch to sort of match things in really. The only problem I've got is a couple of the woods are pretty bent. Now that one's thin, that's not going to cause too much of a problem, but this one, that's quite a thick, you know, edge on. That's quite a thick piece of wood, and it's quite a hard, sort of heavy, strong piece of wood as well. I don't know what it is. I mean, they're all just odd. I'm not really sure how I'm going to straighten it. I don't think just putting screws in it and trying to pull it straight is going to be quite enough. Whether I have to plane it a little bit or weight it and soak it overnight, or God knows what I'm going to have to do with that, not quite sure, but it's all coming together. What I'm going to do now is start to mark everything out sort of super accurate, and find either some screws or some dowels or something like that, get the frames together, and then just sort of infill the panels. I'm just having a look to see what I've got in my trade case in the way of long screws, and I've been up in the attic and unbelievably found some hinges that I knew I had but didn't think I was ever going to be able to find. I actually did find them, and there's not 2, not 3, but it's actually 4, which is obviously exactly what I need, so that's great. So I'm just getting all my fixings together, and then we can take it from there. So there's my super long screws, and in particular I've got 8 really long ones. I think those are 3-inch, and a few other bits and pieces. I need 32 I think in all, but as you can see in my trade case, what have we here, for the most part those will do it, and I can always counter bore the holes in the longest pieces, in the deepest pieces of wood, so that I can get away with slightly less length on the screws. But I think I don't need to go to screw fix. Successfully got the first piece on. Just mark those holes that I've already done. Through onto the next piece. Pilot drill, screw it and glue it very strong. Be getting no wonky doors here. I'm just on the normal long ones, not the super long ones. I'll save them for the other side where I've got the thicker piece of end wood. not the easiest thing to line up. What I'm going to do, yeah, I'm happy with those, but what I'm going to do is just pop them back out for a second in order to do a counter bore.
I just wanted the screws to go another centimetre in.
Yeah. Now, because I don't want to go in very far, I've got the drill backwards and it will still go in. But in a nice controlled fashion, rather than just ripping straight into that large pilot hole.
The wood's quite soft, you see.
Trouble is, I need about 4 blooming drills all ready to go, don't I, with the bits in. That's it, and I can plug that later. Save spiders and water and that getting in. That's enough. That's it, 2 on. Wish I had my pillar drill up and running for this. And here's the problem I've got with the last piece of wood that needs to go on. Are you getting that? Well, that's both bits sat in the middle, and we've got a couple of centimetres at either end. I'm wondering if the screws will pull that in or not. I don't know. Found the heaviest thing I've got, which is like sort of half an old railway sleeper or something, and I've wedged that bit of wood there, and I'll spray it with water later and see if I can at least bend some of it straight.
That's as far as I can go for now with the first door. So here I am, working on the second one.
Right on a knot. My ball's starting to leak. It's because I've been putting my tip in rough places. Should have known better, but there you go. I've got to do the impossible here because the bit's not long enough, so how that's going to work out, I don't know. So I can use those there and the super long ones on the ends.
I have of course been gluing as I screw. The shaft of the screwdriver is just long and narrow enough to tackle the counter bores. and they're a tight old fit too. But that's how I like it. These doors won't be coming apart anytime soon. And there we have it, 1.5 completed door frames.
Well, I've got about as far as I can get for today now. I've made one complete door frame and the other door frame's waiting on that piece of wood to straighten out, which I'm not too sure how that's going to work. When everything's glued up tomorrow, whenever, I can just cut all those sort of little infill panel bits and, you know, just complete the door like that. And as I said, I've got my hinges already, so they can sort of go on with a little bit of fettling and tweaking. I've already offered one of them up and it does fit into both the holes, so it shouldn't be too many dramas there. But that's as far as I can go for today, so I'm going to pack things away and go and have a cold one. See you next time.